Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So, as always, we'll be discussing the learnings over the past week, over the past month. And I think this video is coming after quite a long time because I was busy with some other stuff, some personal stuff was going on. So, nevertheless, let's jump straight away to the video that you will be seeing in this, the demo that you'll be seeing in this video. So we're specifically going to talk about the DAX Studio. So I have not worked explicitly on Power BI, and we had to use DAX Studio in our project because we were facing the performance issues. And shout out to my colleague, my friend Vasu, who helped us navigate some of the features of the DAX Studio and helped us with the solution. So this would be a brief video about how you can use DAX Studio, how you can uh, leverage the features that the DAX Studio provides in your day-to-day activities as far as Power BI is concerned. And we would not be talking about any problem statement here. It's just a brief introduction or a demo of using DAX Studio. And if you have worked with other tools like SQL Server Management Tool and especially tools that help you interact with the storage layer, helps you extract information out of storage layer, you will get to know that DAX Studio works on the same lines. Yes, it has some additional features that obviously you will know when you have good exposure on the DAX Studio. So think of it as a beginner video where you can get to know some minute details about, not minute, I would say some high level details on how to use DAX Studio. So with that said, let's jump over to my screen and where we will go through that.
One of the important tools that Power BI gives out of the box. So this is called Performance Analyzer. So you just have to click on this. And let's think of any, so we are not going to select a scenario which we were facing problem on, because that will take a lot of time to load. So let me select some random. So first of all, you have to select or click on the start recording, option here, so that it can capture all the metrics. So whatever activity that will go on your Power BI dashboard, it will try to capture everything. That includes selection of the slices and loading of the data. So that includes everything. So let's, for simplicity, select any source plant. Again, don't worry about the data. Just try to look at the technical side of the things. So we have selected source plant, and then now we are going to select some other slicer. Let's select this one. So one of the visuals is called inventory projections. And inside this visual, we are actually using a DAX query. And you could see that, so right now the performance is quite good, but the scenarios that we were selecting, it was taking forever to execute. And in fact, it was, when it brought back the results, it was as high as 10 minutes, which is not ideal at all. So what we do in this case is we actually copy the query. So first thing, you can clearly see that there is a DAX query. So this is not an ideal, the example that I'm sharing or showing might not qualify for the performance tuning on the DAX side, DAX query side, because you can see that the time taken is very less. It's 237 milliseconds, which is nothing. In fact, the other time is higher. But in the cases where your DAX query is working slow, this DAX query timings will be high. So as I said, this could be as high as 5 minutes or 10 minutes. So what you need to do in this case is you need to copy your query. So, and probably, put it down on a notepad. So whatever function that you write on DAX, it will actually, so there is some, metadata language behind that. So let's say you have used SumX. So it's not straight away, the sum function that the Power BI engine is going to use. It will actually break down the information and produce a code this is called a metadata code. So you can see there are some, variables that have been declared. Uh, so these variables are declared when we had selected the slicers, and then after that, uh, it did some bunch of other operations. Now, I'm not familiar with this, but maybe if you want to, become Power BI expert, you can take a deeper dive into it. But the thing is that once you have the DAX query, you need to open a DAX Studio. So let me close it out and save it. So you would have to install the DAX Studio. This will be available on Power BI website. So once you install the DAX Studio, it will ask you whether you want to connect to your Power BI report, which is already open. So in our case, the report name is all-in-one dashboard work in progress. So you can see that it is able to recognize. So first of all, we have to change the connection option to Power BI SSDT model. And once you do that, it will automatically recognize that the Power BI desktop application is already open. Now we will connect with it, and it will give you all the measure, all the tables, measures that you have, facts that you have on Power BI. So if you see here, you can see that all this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 data sets are available on your DAX Studio as well. Now, what we do is we have already copied the DAX query, so we will paste it here, and we would click on the server timing option, and then we will just try to run it. So I think it is running. In fact, it has already run. The important thing that Vasu told me was that once the results are out, so first let's see the results. So it actually did not output anything, the selection that we did. Again, this is just a simulation. This might not be the exact issue, but there are some important tabs and important parameters that we can always remember. So this particular window will give you the results, the output of that DAX query. This will give you logs, when you started the query, when the query was completed, when the connection was established. And this will also give you the history, the start time, the end time. But the important thing is the server timings. So server timings window is not, tab is not available by default. You have to click on the server timings on the top right. Only then this will be visible. So now what happens at the back end? I think it is same in any database engine. When you're trying to query or get the result from any storage layer, it there is no single job that will do the job. There will be a batch of jobs. So similarly, you can see here there are 24 jobs. Let's call it jobs in simple terminologies, and that is what you will see here. Since this was very fast, so the duration is always 0, 0, 0 in this case, but you could have duration again as high as 4 minutes, 5 minutes, and then we'll have to see why it is that. So once this is done, important parameter that we have to see is this FE, formula engine, and storage engine. So when we are doing calculations on the fly, your formula engine will be more busy or busier than the storage engine. So we have to have a balance between these two. So formula engine is nothing but the calculations that we perform on the fly. So these will be mostly on RAM, whereas the storage engine calculations will happen on your storage storage layer. So what is advisable here is that your formula engine percentage should not be near to a 90 or 100%. If that is the case, you might want to relook at how the data model is built on Power BI. and you might have want to pre-calculate or pre-aggregate the tables. So in this case, you can see that the formula engine is occupying 100% of the bandwidth. So this is not the ideal case. So what's happening in Power BI is that all the calculations are being applied, on runtime and as a row by row operation, which will obviously bring down the performance. So what we did after identifying this, what we did that we decided that we will pre-calculate the values and we will save it in our database layer, and that pre-calculated table will then pulled into the Power BI so that most of the load is taken off. So there are a lot of other parameters or other options, but that is something you can explore. But this was something useful that I came across. Is it making sense, guys? Especially if you have worked with Power BI. Who has not worked with Power BI? Can I know that? Out of all the team members right now, I think all of us has worked. So yeah, I think this will be useful. This might be an advanced concept on Power BI where you have to fine tune the DAX queries. I'm sure, and when you get more experience, especially on Power BI, these kind of scenarios will come your way. Okay, so it was useful. So there are you'll find a lot of videos, articles on DAX Studio. So feel free to uh, go after that, read as much as you can. So yeah, so this is something I wanted to share it with you. Any questions, guys?
Lokesh,
No, Lokesh.
I want to add a point to it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So whenever we are using this performance analyzer, we should make sure that we are creating a blank page in the Power BI.
Okay.
So and we have to save it with the on the blank page, and after opening the blank page, we have to start the recording and click on the dashboard page, so that
Okay.
it will generate the correct results, because it will be loaded at first time, right? So it will not give you the accurate timings.
Sorry, what was that? So let's
Yeah,
say I have
just
a blank page. Yeah.
yeah. Now you save the PBX file.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so close the PBX
Yeah.
now.
Now this one.
No, complete
Okay.
file.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Now open the file again.
Again.
Yeah.
Okay.
It will open with the blank page, right? The page one which
Yeah.
we have
Yeah. Yeah.
created now. Yeah. Now we have to uh, start recording in the performance analyzer, so that it will give the exact results.
Okay. Right. So sorry, I did not follow
Yeah.
this importance of blank page. So what
Now
should we do now? Yeah.
go to the view and the same process which you have explained it. Performance
Okay.
analyzer. Now you start recording.
Hmm.
Yeah, and now go to the page which you want, like all in one or data sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the first load, right? Of
Correct. Correct.
it will give the exact timings of it.
Oh, okay. So that is actually right. So there could be two scenarios here. So one is you're trying to check the performance on the very first load. Yes, this will play a crucial role, whatever you said, Haripriya. But in our case, the problem was not the initial load of the report. It was on certain parameters, a selection of certain slices. So in that
Okay.
case, we might not need the blank page. But yeah, you're right. If we want to check the performance on the very first load when the page refreshes, we have to have a blank page. Yeah, I understood.
Yeah.
Thanks for
This
that.
is the way which we have used it in our previous project.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, sure. But I think once the report is loaded, it doesn't really matter, where you put the performance analyzer, because you have to start recording. You have to do the start recording again, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, got it. Any other questions, guys?
No, no.